Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here, and welcome to the DCS news stream for the 4th of December. I hope that you all enjoyed that JF17 video, the most recent in the tutorial series for the JF17. Yes, thanks for pointing out, Tog. I was immediately live. I forgot to make use of my little my little panel that I normally have up, so very silly of me, very silly indeed. Yeah, that was the data link and the IFF for the JF17. As you can see, we're making our way through pretty much all the potential topics for that now. We've covered all the air-to-air weapons, all the air-to-ground weapons, things like the air-to-air and air-to-ground radar. That's the data link and IFF now. I'm not sure if there's really much more to cover. I think I will probably do one more video on the defensive systems of the aircraft. So chaff, flares, jammers, and the use of the RWR. That's going to be my final video on the JF17, and then my intention is to begin a brand new tutorial series, which will be the FA-18C. I think that's the most sensible one to do next. It's one of the more common aircraft in use by people playing DCS, and it's also very, very complete at this stage. Actually, unlike say the F-16. The FA-18 is pretty much done, which is nice, and I think it's even coming out of early access very soon now. Dave Flute, great set of videos, enjoying them, all really helpful, looking forward to the F-18. Nice. Yeah, that's going to be fun. There'll be a lot of content to deal with there. So, moving on, we have the DCS news. Sadly, we don't have dotChuckles this week. You're stuck with just myself. But it's it's another one of those quiet news weeks. So you're not losing that much kind of discussion and commentary between me and Chuck. Last week, of course, the big news being the delay of the Apache release. So this week, we will, as always, start with the newsletter from Eagle Dynamics. They're calling out the fact, they want to remind us all that we're running out of time to make use of the autumn sale, the DCS 2021 autumn sale. The sale will end on the 6th of December at 1500 GMT. So, very important stuff. Make sure if you're looking to buy anything, you take a look at that. It's up to 50% discount on a variety of different modules. The new pilot model for the Mi-24P Hind is progressing nicely. They've got some development shots. I'm going to actually bring those up just now. We've got the model for the parachute. I actually didn't realise that Hind crew wore a parachute. That's kind of cool. Hello Fair, hello Channel Right, and at least I'm not bringing Tog. Frantic would be great, I think. Frantic would be great. Maybe we'll do that one day. It's not, I repeat, not a tornado. Well, not in this instance, but it might be one day. One day I will come onto this stream and I will say it's a tornado. So yeah, apparently Hind crew wear parachutes. I didn't know that. They're also modelling these gloves in a lot of detail, and the watch that the crew wear. And then we've got pictures of the MiG-29 for reasons that will become clear a little bit later in the newsletter. So pretty cool. And actually, if I zip down here, they say progress is going smoothly. In the screenshots, we can see the flight gloves, a Soviet navigator's watch. They go into some detail about where these were made, and they're also modelling the S4U rescue parachute. So yeah, very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. But there is a kind of larger piece of news this week, and it's an interesting one because I've not really heard Eagle talk about this. Today, we would like to introduce our new AI aircraft flight model. This new flight model, which we've named General Flight Model, or GFM, will initially be rolled out across all fighter jets and then step by step to World War II AI aircraft. Note that our helicopter AIFM is already flying with a similar GFM using rigid body physics, contact model and complex rotor physics. This I didn't know. They never mentioned that they'd updated the helicopter AI flight models, or at least if they did, I didn't notice or forgot. So that's pretty exciting in my opinion. Yeah, this extensive development is still very much work in progress, and we look forward to providing you more details in the new year. This is super, super exciting. So they're using the Fulcrum, hence the pictures of the MiG-29, as an effective test bed for developing the characteristics, of crosswind takeoff and landing, strafing, rejoining formations, general aerobatics, turbulent conditions, and air-to-air engagement. They then direct us to take a little look at the example video. I'll show you just a clip from this video because, in my opinion, it's a little bit long and boring, but there is some very, very interesting stuff that shows up in this video. So let me actually bump it forwards to where I think it gets interesting. In this video, we have a 4-ship of MiG-29s. The lead aircraft is being flown by Eagle Dynamics' very own Yo-Yo, who's their, physics master, basically. The 3 wingmen are all AI, utilizing this brand new GFM. Now, I want to show you guys this video and see if you notice some things about number 4. Number 4 aircraft has a little bit of difficulty maintaining formation, and also ends up flying into and out of wingtip vortices and turbulent air behind the other aircraft. Look at this. This is something that would never have happened with the previous simple flight model. The previous simple flight model didn't seem to model turbulent air or wingtip vortices at all. So basically the AI was immune to these kinds of effects in the past. There is no sound in the original video, that's right. So I'm not even having to mute this one. This one has no sound. Tog, speaking of parachutes and the discussion on American ejection seats from a week or two ago, US seats have multiple airbags for safety. I didn't know that. That's very interesting. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I fast-forwarded it to the bit where number 4 messed up a little bit. I think that's really cool because with the previous simplistic flight model that the AI flew with, they were just kind of not subject to a lot of these things, and so they could fly in quite artificially smooth ways, and they were able to negate certain effects that human pilots cannot. You guys already talked about NOR platform. No, I actually haven't talked about NOR at all. I haven't really considered it newsworthy, to be honest, because I don't really know what it is, and how far away it is, and so on. And also, this is the DCS news, so that doesn't really fall within, to be honest. So yeah, that's the video that they posted. It's quite long. It's almost 10 minutes long, and I would suggest it's slightly boring. But if you jump to that kind of 4:30 point, you'll see number 4 having a little bit of trouble bouncing around a bit. So yeah, general flight model. So they talk a little bit more in the newsletter about the different flight models that they've had going through the years. Of course, we had simple flight model, back in the old days. And then we had advanced flight model, and then eventually we're now on to PFM, or professional flight model. And they explain that they can't apply the AFM or the PFM to the AI. They don't exactly call out why, but I'm going to assume processing power is going to be one of them because, actually it's going to be one explanation, there's probably a few others. You can imagine the amount of processing power it takes to simulate just one human aircraft. If you were to apply the PFM to a flight of 20 enemy aircraft, I think your computer would bog down quite quickly. And then also the AI would have to be far more advanced to understand the effects of that flight model and to fly correctly. So yeah, I think that's probably a big part of it. We're never going to see the AI having quite as refined a flight model as human players do, but having this GFM brings us a big step closer, just based on that video. It looks a lot better. Channel Right, hoping the AI gets an improvement in tasking wingmen to attack targets, both air and ground, a more instructive AI wingman menu. Yeah, I guess it could be improved, although you would need to, in my opinion, you need to have a whole new interface. If you're restricted to just a text-based interface like we have just now, I don't think the current interface is bad, or at least I don't think you could do much better than that without doing something more like what Arma 3 and things like that do, where you kind of click on the screen for where you want people to go and what you want them to do. I think in a text-only interface, that's about as good as it's going to get, in my opinion. Good evening, Yogi. So yeah, also on saying that, when I've given my AI taskings, AI wingmen, they seem to execute them with a decent degree of, capability. They actually seem to do a decent job. Now, they probably don't take their own safety into enough consideration, but they certainly prosecute the target you give them. Hello, Rusty. Welcome to the stream, sir. So yeah, that's the GFM. I don't know if there's much more to call out here. They go into a lot of detail, and they talk about the multi-level autopilot. So basically, they talk about this factor that the AI needs to be taught how to fly again because the aircraft has suddenly become more difficult to handle. So that's an interesting one. So this fundamental work required about 2 years of programming, with formation flying alone requiring an additional 5 months of intensive development. The main task was to teach the AI to fly correctly, but not as a supernatural drone, but rather as a human pilot would, including micro delays, errors, and limitations. Soon every pilot can practice the formation lead role and develop highly realistic skills without having to play online and depending on an adequate wingman to hone his talent. Ooh, burn. I'm an adequate wingman. Cool. Love the show. The news about dynamic weather for DCS sounds exciting. Yes, that was last week. We were talking about that. A fan of vocal commands to AI. Very interesting. And Yogi, you like the JF17 tutorials. Thank you very much, sir. That's very kind. So, the next, and actually the last thing that I've got on the list, this is a very, very quiet news week, but we have some images of the pilot for the F-15E from Razbam. Now, these look really good. Razbam have been making very, very good pilot bodies, good examples being their Harrier and Mirage pilots. I think they were laser scanning those, as I recall. And this could well be the result of the use of similar technology. So we have 3 images here of our F-15 Strike Eagle pilot, complete with his sidearm, and he's wearing his life vest. Very, very good, very convincing look. Nice level of fidelity here. I don't know if we can actually zoom this in much. A little bit. We can zoom in a little bit. But yeah, very handsome fellow, very convincing looking. So yeah, that's that's pretty much all the news that I've got this week for you. It's been a pretty quiet news week, so really not that much to go through. And unfortunately, we don't have dotChuckles this week, but I'm hopeful that he's rejoining us next week. But I'm very excited by the news of the GFM. I'm looking forward to that very much. They're saying that we should hear more about that in the new year. Who knows, perhaps we're even seeing it about the same time as the Apache. Let's see. Or maybe after, I don't know. I also wonder when we're getting our fancy new moving clouds. That's also been reported to be coming soon, as Yogi said. F-15E, really, when? Asks Ernest. Nobody knows. Don't get excited yet. It's going to be a long time. The only thing we've seen so far about the F-15E from Razbam has been exterior models, some cockpit shots, and these pictures of the pilots. I don't know how much work has actually been done on systems, but I would suspect we're looking at a minimum of 2 years before we're even anywhere near early access. So, yeah, not coming anytime soon, I don't think. Yogi, Razbam have been talking about the F-15E for many years, but we've not seen much, I'm afraid. I think they've taken on more than they can chew. My bet is on the Typhoon being launched before the F-15E. Absolutely. The Typhoon is coming out sooner than the F-15 is. And even the Typhoon is not coming out that soon. It'll be most likely a couple of years as well. Tog, hopefully they add camo patterns to them for optional choice. Every pilot I've ever met at our local base wore some form of digital... of desert digital. Well, the thing is, the flight suits in all of the aircraft are skinnable. And actually in the VAF, which I just happened to mention from time to time, we do actually have customized flight suits with patches and things like that on them. So yeah, if you decided that you wanted a different pattern on the flight suit, you can just do that yourself. And I'm sure that livery makers will be doing that kind of thing. And mentioning the VAF, because that's it, we're all out of news. There's nothing else exciting that's happened this week to discuss. So as always, I'm going to give VAF a shout out here. Hint, hint. Yep, VAF, the Virtual Air Force. It's a online squadron that myself and dotChuckles formed a few years back. If you're at all interested in flying with like-minded individuals, doing some fun missions, doing training on a variety of different airframes, check out the Discord link below. Everybody is welcome. We have a kind of opt-in milsim approach, so you can join the squadron as a freelancer, fly whatever you want, whenever you want, and you don't have any restrictions around training and things like that. That's great. Or optionally, you can choose to join one of the numbered squadrons inside VAF. We currently have 4 in the form of 2 Squadron, who fly the F-16, 3 Squadron, who fly the Harrier, 25 Squadron, who fly the A-10, and 142 Squadron, who fly the F-14. All of these running mandatory training programs and providing you with very skilled and exciting wingmen to fly with. So if you haven't already, please consider joining VAF. All are welcome. Now, I'm Deepak. You probably already know who I am because you're watching my channel. Every week I post a new tutorial video. Next week will be the final JF-17 tutorial video, which will be... What did I say it was going to be on again? My mind has gone blank. I said it was going to be on the defensive system. So countermeasures, ECM and RWR. And then I'm moving straight into a series on the FA-18C, where I'll take a look at absolutely everything that that aircraft has to offer. What's your view on the joint work between True Grit and Heat Blur, asks Yogi. Well, I think it's fantastic. Heat Blur are... I hit the wrong button. Heat Blur are probably one of the most experienced module developers in DCS, I would say. So the fact that they're getting on board with this is absolutely fantastic. True Grit are the ones who have all of the subject matter experts. True Grit have a number of ex and current, I think, Typhoon pilots from the Luftwaffe. So I think these two together, like this very, very experienced group of module developers plus the subject matter experts, it's going to make it an absolutely brilliant module. It's almost certainly going to be a must-buy. Heat Blur's quality level is exceptionally high, one of the highest in the industry, I think. So absolutely, I think it's very, very exciting news, and it's one to watch. Yeah, nothing new on Matt Wagner's channel. Sadly, Daddy Wagner has not delivered anything for us this week, but we wait with bated breath. So yeah, if you haven't already, please join the VAF. It's great fun. I'm Deepak, like I said, premiere video every Saturday, followed by the DCS news, which just happens to be this thing, what you are watching now. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you all next time.